Come with us now, if you dare, down a rickety staircase into a dank, dark basement. What awaits? The Saturday Night Freak Show.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Saturday Night Freak Show podcast, the movie review and talk show podcast that comes your way every Saturday, whether you're ready for it or not. These are the internet radio superstars.
John.
Holly.
Michaela.
And I'm Colin. And tonight we watched a movie that was chosen by...
Colin. Colin took us to... It's fight night.
That's right. Ringside.
Main
event.
Ringside main event. What did we see tonight?
We saw Freddy versus Jason.
Yeah.
About time. Long overdue
I mean,
for
yeah,
the
is
freak
it?
show, I
That's what we
think.
were saying when this movie came out.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know.
They teased us with this forever.
Okay, you say that. What does that mean? Because
Well-
does that mean there was a comic book? Well, like what? What was the tease
There's
exactly?
a bunch of stories. So wait, first of all, year is
2003.
Yes.
and director is
Ronnie Yu.
Yeah,
Coming from mostly
Chinese.
Asian,
Yeah,
Like
he,
Hong
Asian
Kong action
films.
movies.
it was
right?
also the
Bride
horror.
of Chucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he had done Bride with the White Hair. I think
Parts one
that
and
was
two.
that was what kind of put him on the radar during that whole Asian extreme wave that kind of came in,
Yeah.
and Hollywood started looking at a wider range of cinematic voices, and so he got the job on Bride of Chucky, which I think was kind of credited with breathing a second wind into that series.
Oh, yeah. I'd say so.
And so then Freddy versus Jason. But the road to get here, right, is at least
Goes
like
through hell.
10 years. Yeah, because so this is like the last in canon version of both of these stories, right?
Yeah.
Or entry of both these stories,
Yeah.
Okay.
which kind of makes Laurie the final girl for both,
There you go.
Freddy and Jason.
and
Yeah.
not a Halloween movie. Yes.
right?
Okay, yeah, walk me through this because I don't really know much about either
Yeah.
franchise, so I need context. Like,
Okay. So in the 1980s, these two were basically the big dogs box office wise. And then they started trailing out toward the end of the 80s.
right.
Freddy is over at New Line Cinema. Jason is at Paramount. And Jason takes Manhattan.
I remember
performed
that.
so poorly
Yeah.
that they were Paramount, I guess the rights reverted to whoever held it, and they were like, okay, we can entertain a sale here. And I can't remember what they got in return for this,
Yeah, I remember this.
but Michael DeLuca was the guy over at New Line Cinema, a horror fan, and he wrote In the Mouth of Madness, and
Okay,
has since
sure.
moved on to bigger and better things, but
Yeah.
like studio head kind of thing. And so I think he made the deal that New Line would acquire Jason, right? And they didn't get Friday the
Jason.
13th, just Jason.
Right.
All
Yes.
I know about the rights
Yeah.
war.
Yeah.
That I know about. Yeah.
Okay, so they bring Jason. So then they make a Jason movie. They make Jason Goes to Hell,
Right.
and at the end of Jason Goes to Hell,
Jason Goes to Hell.
He does.
Yep.
and somebody thought,
Didn't we do that on an episode?
Did we? I don't think
I don't
we ever
think we haven't done
did.
that
I
one
don't
yet.
think we did.
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
Talked about it.
But there's this shot at the very end of the movie where Freddy Krueger's hand busts up and grabs Jason's mask and pulls it down to
Okay.
hell. So
Yep.
right then
Okay.
they're like, all right, so we're doing Freddy versus Jason next, right?
Right.
And this is like 1994.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're like, okay, we're all good to go. Then
And there had been talk since there was two of the, like you said, the big dogs, the two such popular icons in horror. People like online and everything had always wanted these two to go at it somehow.
Sure. Guys, I was going to ask, is this the first time we've seen two like big time slashers go to war like this?
Like this, yes.
yeah,
is,
but,
right?
I mean, when
You
it
haven't seen
came
this
out,
before?
I
Unless you
was
count Ginger Dead Man versus Evil Bong.
Well, but I
that
mean,
doesn't-
even like the creature movies of like the 40s.
No,
were-
I know we did.
Yeah.
They
well,
did that.
Abbott
Like,
and Costello,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
or the
yeah.
house
Universal
of
Monsters.
Yeah, the Universal Monsters.
Frankenstein or House of Dracula.
and even
Yeah.
like Godzilla and Kong. Like, I know
Yeah.
it's been done. I just meant
Yeah.
like slasher wise. Is this the first time we've seen it?
This is the
is the
first
big one.
time.
I think so, right?
This is the
Okay.
one that gave them the idea, and then it was like, we got to get Freddy and Jason together. And I suppose everybody else is going like, can we put,
And then they wanted Ash in there.
Yeah.
And then they're trying to figure out, can we get Michael Myers
Right.
in there?
They want
so
the
all these
fucking
ideas.
end game
Yeah,
of
they want the multiverse of
yeah,
the
of
new horror
Yeah.
icons. Yeah.
because I think like
Okay.
the Expendables actually did give us the horror horror Expendables, right? It was like Robert Englund and Kane Hodder.
Wasn't that called like Grindhouse or something? Death House?
Oh,
Maybe.
Yeah, it wasn't like
together.
was
I
Linnea
forgot
Quigley
about
in that
that.
too? Like there was a bunch of people in that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just like seeing all of our favorite characters mashed up,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I remember when this came out, the publicity was insane. It was all over MTV and it was everywhere. And
Yeah.
everyone was excited about it. Even like I wasn't even like a big Jason or Freddy fan.
Right. But
But
all
even-
you have to do is see that
even-
poster. Boom, boom.
But even
boom.
I was like, oh, that's interesting. You know?
Yep.
Well, it's like, so, you sit there going like, how come they didn't do it like right away? They went through like so many versions, and have you guys looked up like what they were trying to develop?
Oh, it's been a long time since I've dug into the history of this.
So there was, I think, maybe 6 to 10. I'm not sure. It's like at least 6 different versions of a script that was written, because New Line was like, okay, give us the pitch. What can you do? So I think, is it Brandon Braga and Robert Berman, who were the guys behind Star Trek? Like they wrote a draft, and apparently in their draft, like this is after New Nightmare, obviously, like Jason Voorhees is a real guy who inspired the movies, and so he goes to court, and Freddy Krueger is like, and it like brought in a bunch of characters together from I think the other
That sounds
movies.
terrible.
It was like a courthouse.
I'd watch the shit out of
Movie.
it. It's like Jason's in court.
There was
I want
That's,
a
like, that's almost as bad as Batman being in court.
I want a Jason court drama.
Yeah, right.
yeah, or the
But
Joker
he's not going
being
to
a
say
corporate-
anything. Like,
But that's the
Yeah.
funny part.
That's what's great.
Well, yeah, but he's
this sounds like a Robot Chicken
I
sketch.
think he's
that's
like
already
Or
He
if you
happened.
have anything to
It
say
really
for
does.
yourself on the stand. He's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah, well, he's a real guy apparently.
Right,
And
right.
I don't know if he spoke or whatever. There was a version. The Splatterpunk author David J. Shaw wrote one. I think he had like a satanic cult that worshipped Freddy. That somehow there ended up with a boxing match literally in hell where Freddy versus Jason as a title fight.
So they went literal.
Yes.
Yes.
There were fighting happening in hell. Guillermo del Toro was circling it
remember
at
that.
some point.
Yeah.
Peter Jackson was circling it at some point. Rob Bottin
Can you
was
imagine
supposed to
any
direct.
of those versions?
Well, there's one I can't imagine. Rob Zombie was also offered to direct this movie and turned it down because he wanted to do
Halloween-
House of a Thousand
or
Corpses.
House of a Thousand
at
Corpses,
this time.
yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm glad.
See, that was my first instinct too, but then I thought about the fact that he basically made Michael Myers into Jason. So maybe he would have been better off
This
doing
would have been his
this
wheelhouse.
movie
Yeah.
instead of doing the Halloween movie.
Plus, he
Maybe,
still gets to
maybe.
do the rock soundtrack.
Yeah,
and
the new
everything. It's just
metal.
a little
Oh,
more
yeah,
Rob Zombie,
like-
but a
I was
lot
gonna
of
say
new
the
metal.
soundtrack actually might have been better.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie at this time,
Yeah.
might have pulled something off.
I
Yeah.
think
2008.
I think there's a split parallel universe where he did that instead of doing Halloween, and then there's a whole new timeline of Halloween movies in
Yep.
that
Yeah.
parallel
Well, I
universe.
mean, it
I like
just seems
that.
like this could have gone so many ways.
Yes.
The movie was ultimately written by was it Damian Shannon and Mark Swift?
Yeah, these guys. I shake my fist. I got beef with these guys.
Why did
I
you
like
give them a
the
Sean,
Send
you have
Help.
beef with them too. You just
Probably.
don't know that.
Yeah, but they wrote Send Help.
They also did the 2009 Friday the 13th remake.
Yes.
Oh, did they?
Because if
And
you
the
do
Baywatch
this,
remake.
you do Friday the 13th,
Yep.
the reboot.
Oh.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
Yeah.
so,
They're batting 50-50 here. They for every good thing they do a really bad thing to a legacy property.
So what do you need? I mean, like, so they have, it's like we've taken these guys, these characters are like institutions, right?
Yes.
But they exist in such very different. I mean, Freddy's a ghost that attacks you in your sleep, and Jason is a shark on land.
Unkillable, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Kill a shark. on this
So, I guess that's why it's
How do
like,
you- how do you bring them together?
How many of these pitches like all fell on their face because nobody could figure out how to do it?
one. Mhm.
And this is
See,
the
I
one
don't
that
think it's
they
that hard to
figured it
figure out because both of these characters have like supernatural elements to them that you can use to hand wave away a lot of things. I think
Yeah.
it would be a lot harder to get Michael Myers and Leatherface in the same place,
I
right?
agree.
Like they don't have any of those magical abilities.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but at least they occupy the same physical world. You know,
Yeah,
like what I'm
that's
saying? It's
true.
like this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
But dream reality makes anything possible. So
And
you
they,
know?
But it also
did
makes it very interesting,
Mhm.
potentially.
yeah.
You
just
know?
gotta figure out a location. You're just like, do we go to Crystal Lake? Do we go to Springwood? Like, where are we
Why
gonna
not
set up
both,
for this?
Sean?
well, it seems like they opted to do a Nightmare on Elm Street movie with Jason in it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like
For
that
sure.
was the approach.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would have preferred the other way around, I think. I would have preferred it be a Friday the 13th with Freddy coming into it.
Yeah, the kids go
Especially,
to sleep or something.
yeah,
Somebody
especially
comes
since
from-
that's essentially how it started.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
I
Like,
know.
it
You
was
baited
Freddy
me
at
with
the
the
end
idea.
of a Jason movie. So.
Yeah.
Which, how was everyone's reaction to that? Like, do you remember what people's reactions were when Jason Goes to Hell came
Yes.
out and that was the ending? Did people
Yes.
freak out?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
the theatrical experience on this was,
Insane.
it was
probably.
packed. Yeah, there were everybody cheering and hooting and hollering.
Yep.
So I guess like that's the movie that you're expecting it to be,
Mhm.
and they'd hyped it up. Oh, did you see the check-in at in Las Vegas where they brought Freddy and Jason to
Oh yeah.
Weigh in.
I remember
Yeah.
that. That's good
Oh, I
advertising.
forgot about that. That's
Right.
genius. That's genius.
That's good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, so there was a wave of hype,
Right.
10 years or more.
Like, so people were ready for this, and then
Yeah.
10 years later it happens.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. That's disappointing.
Well, I mean, the pent up expectation for it, I guess, ended up bringing everybody to the theater
did.
on opening night.
So-
The highest grossing Friday the 13th. The second highest grossing Nightmare on Elm Street. Guess which Nightmare on Elm Street was the highest grossing?
I know the answer to this. So
Number 3?
you wish.
No. Damn.
I
You
don't
do
have a
wish.
guess. I don't have a guess.
The remake.
Oh, fuck. That sucks.
All right.
Yeah,
Oh, that sucks. But that makes sense, but it sucks.
But this is also like the biggest budgeted one of all of them, at least before the reboots, right?
Yeah, I looked it up because I was curious, and I feel like this movie looks like shit given what its budget is. It has a $30 million budget, which in 2002, when this is being made, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
A lot of money.
Yeah,
Oh, but what's the what's the comparison? Like, are we talking like the graphics are terrible? Is that what you're saying? Like
I mean,
the effects?
yeah, I just think the whole thing looks cheap.
Yeah.
The whole thing
Well,
looks
it looks
cheap.
Because
to me.
comparatively, like, what else
Cheap,
was out
but-
at this time?
well-
that looked
Well,
really
okay,
good?
so it's funny you say that
Yeah.
because X-Men, X2, X-Men United is being filmed at the same lake at the same time, and all the actors are staying in the same hotel, and they're going back and forth and visiting each other on sets, and Bryan
Oh,
Singer was coming
okay.
over and watching scenes with Freddy Krueger. That movie looks fucking great.
It looks great.
So,
yeah, you're right. Okay.
Well,
Fun.
I mean, it's
A
got some
lot of
dodgy
the-
CGI still, but
Sure.
those movies look expensive.
but a lot of what they spent on the movie probably went to a 10-year development cycle too. Like they
Yeah,
had to
that's
pay
true.
all those writers. They
Yeah.
had to pay for keeping people employed to
Yeah.
create it. I think
Right.
that was like $6 million right there, if I remember reading that right. So I mean, yeah, it was $6 million development that leaves
And
you.
plus whatever money's going to Robert Englund because he's the biggest star
Yeah.
in the movie.
Now,
'Cause Jason is nobody.
Right, and they made him even more of a nobody because they didn't hire Kane Hodder. They hired this new guy, Ken Kersinger, who I see on the convention circuit all
He
the time.
actually did play Jason before this.
Did he?
He was, or no, sorry. Yeah, I think he was a stand-in during Jason Goes to Hell, but
Gotcha.
he's the short order cook that Jason throws into the mirror in the diner.
Yes.
That's him.
Oh,
Yep.
there you go.
Yeah.
And he's 6'5", so he's the tallest person to play him at this
Yeah.
point. But is this also a money saving maneuver here to let go of the guy who's done it for the previous movies and hire someone new?
How much could Kane Hodder have commanded? I mean, I guess that's the thing. It's like
Yeah.
Robert
Yeah.
Englund. You can't do the movie without him because
Right.
he is Freddy Krueger,
Yep.
right?
Mhm.
But I think to the fan base, like Kane Hodder was Jason
Right.
at that point. Like he was the chosen Jason. And they
I feel
just
like I can
said-
tell a huge difference watching these two. Like,
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
a completely different performance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I never liked this Jason from this movie.
He's too stiff.
He's fine, but he's just like he's not. There's no personality in him. When it's hard to give a personality to this character, but Kane Hodder did it.
Yeah.
Like just in his breathing and the way
The
he
head
moved
turn.
and everything. The head
The
turn.
famous head
the
turn.
famous head turn. Like he did it. He was the best one. The best Jason in the worst movies, as we always say. But yeah, like to not have him, it's the matchup. Freddy versus Jason. How is it not Kane Hodder versus
I
Robert
know.
Englund?
Yeah. And I think we got robbed. And I don't think I've ever really forgiven this movie for
Yeah.
that. When they went into
that's
production and didn't have that. Because you thought for years it was going to be both of them.
Yep.
I guess Kane Hodder said, like, well, the phone never rang. Like, he knew they were doing it.
Yeah.
I think Variety, he had even said that he was going to be in it. And he said his phone actually never rang.
Yeah.
And all I see that attributed to is Ronnie Yu said he wanted, I mean, the quote that goes around is he wanted a Jason with sympathetic or soulful eyes. And I'm like,
Jesus.
give me what
I.
the.
Let's just put it out there.
Yeah.
I.
I'm
No.
like, Kane Hodder could have done. I mean, what he didn't like Kane Hodder's angry Jason. He needed a sympathetic Jason. Do we want a sympathetic Jason?
No. I hate when they remind me he's a child. I hate that. Like,
Yes.
I know that's part of the lore and that's technically true, but I'm looking at a 6'5" hulking beast in front of me, so he's not.
No, I want him
acting as a child.
angry and killing people, especially if he's going up against Freddy. Yeah, it was a bad decision.
Yeah. But it was done.
But it was
And they hired somebody else. And I always assume it's because like Ronnie Yu was drawing sketches or something, and his idea of Freddy, was Jason, this big giant, hulking person next to smaller Freddy, and so he just said,
I guess because how tall is Kane Hodder? I guess the matchup wouldn't.
Kane Hodder's like 5'11", 6 foot or something like that. Yeah.
Put some lifts in his shoe. Deal with it.
Put some shoulder pads on the guy, just
like he'll
create a
figure it
silhouette.
out.
Yeah, exactly.
He
It's
can do it.
But it's crazy because then you really compare Rob Zombie's interpretation of Michael Myers, and he is the biggest, hulkingest beast of all time, and he doesn't talk in those movies. He literally just makes him into Jason.
Yeah.
He says one word.
Yeah.
oh no. All right, so you have to get these two characters together into a movie, and so what did they come up with? What's the hook into it?
Well, we are. All right, so Jason's dead and Freddy's dead.
Yeah, so it takes
according to our
place.
movies.
They had made Jason X to basically keep the rights to the series going while they waited to do this one. So Jason X is supposed to take place further in the future.
That makes sense.
Right? Yeah.
After this, so so what they came up with is like Freddy just exists, but the town has forgotten him. Springwood has forgotten him, and he needs his power in order to go after the kids. They need to remember him. They need to fear him. He goes through a whole little thing. How can they fear me if they don't remember?
This is interesting because when we saw Freddy's dead, of course, like everybody, the whole town of Springwood was. But I guess we got to just throw that away,
Right.
Whatever you remember,
We can't, no.
just let it go.
Yeah.
Continuity
Cover
be
as many
damned.
times as we can.
Yeah.
We can't connect back to two different franchises and try and do all that continuity.
I think it's interesting we get a previously on for the whole Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, basically, and then nothing for the Friday the 13th movies.
It is
except
an inline
for
cinema movie.
except for the
True, so they can't.
Mother Voorhees giving a brief rundown, but that's not really much. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And it
But
kinda-
man, that montage goes on for so much longer than I remembered.
It does. And Jason does get the short shrift out of this whole thing.
Yeah, because Freddy does give like the history of the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, basically, right? But and then we lead into a quintessential, I guess, Friday the 13th condensed movie. I mean, that is what a Friday the 13th movie is, right? Or like how you imagine it. It's because Jason Goes to Hell started off with pretty much the exact same scene. There's a girl going skinny dipping, and Jason shows up, chases her around, and kills her.
Yep.
So, yeah, okay, but Jason still being he's dead, right? So this is all taking place
Resting,
in his.
Colin, he's resting.
I was
never
like,
dies.
dead.
Yeah.
Remember, he
on.
can't die.
In a suspended state. Yeah.
Remember, his mom won't allow him.
Yeah.
Colin.
Well, it's
There's
because
always more
he's-
vengeance to be had.
He's a deadite, right? I mean,
Yeah.
because of the Necronomicon down in the basement of his house or whatever. And so that's how they
Right.
ended
I
up
forgot
going.
about that.
That
Yeah.
plays a big part in the
okay.
Freddy versus Jason versus Ash sequel script,
that's
which
very
they
true.
turned into a comic book, and yes, you can read it.
I would welcome that movie. I would go see it.
I mean, they wrote it.
Yeah,
They
I would
were
go see
intending
it.
to do it, but yeah. And then there's a sequel to that, Nightmare Warriors.
Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Yes, it's a
That
trilogy
doesn't sound
and
good.
comics. Okay.
wow.
So Freddy is going to, because the
Jason
people,
is
the kids of
dreaming?
Elm Street, well, he finds him in hell, I'm assuming, right?
Is that?
Yeah. I think Freddy's in hell,
And he just finds Jason
and he
in hell?
finds Jason in hell, and somehow,
Remind me, is he just hanging out there? Or Freddy, is he just hanging out in hell? How did he get there?
I guess.
we
he's
saw
just-
Freddy's, well, this is,
Remind me.
I'm
Freddy's
assuming
dead.
that New Nightmare doesn't fit into this.
Yeah, that's a whole. That's
Okay.
a
Although he
thing.
was kind of in hell at the end of that one,
Okay.
right? He
Yeah.
had the hell boiler room.
I mean, but Freddy's daughter blew him up and technically killed him, so he's just hanging out in hell, I guess.
Okay.
Hanging out in hell.
But you
Okay.
can't, it's evil. You can't kill evil
Because
permanently.
I don't even know which ones I've seen. They all blur together, and
Yeah,
I don't
understandable.
remember any of them. So I
Yeah.
just need context.
Which is why this movie is just like, let's not acknowledge all this, really.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it gives you too much to think about. We want buckets of blood and
Yeah.
two horror icons just going at each other.
This movie acknowledges nothing, but also creates context from a movie that doesn't exist. Essentially,
Why is the the whole like dad didn't kill my mother drama?
This
I
whole
hate
thing.
This is where I always lose interest in this
This
fucking
whole
movie.
fucking
How do you feel
Every
about this,
time.
Holly? 'Cause
Yeah, no,
I was
just-
like, where's this movie?
I was gonna say we need to say this for the listeners. Like halfway during this movie, I was like, "What movie am I missing? Like, where did this come from?" And you're all like, "Oh, this didn't happen."
Before this.
No.
Yeah, I was
This
like,
is-
"Why?" They're saying all these things that I assumed I just missed that movie. No, I didn't.
You
It
did not.
didn't happen.
It just all happened off screen
Yeah.
before this movie.
And then like every half hour, I'm like, "Where's the verses? Where's my battle?"
Yeah, well,
Right. For as much as I was waiting for James Bond to get to the goddamn moon,
right.
Holly was
Yes.
waiting for the verses.
Yes, 100%.
Moonraker.
I did like that
Fuck yeah.
they did go with a mini fight before the main event in this. I was like, okay, that was like instead of keeping you waiting all the way to the very end, it was like they did give you
there was a brief matchup, and then they. I'm glad they did that, but still, it was very late in the movie, and yeah,
but there's I guess to what you're saying, there's a lot to process here because they are throwing in new characters.
yeah. That
and
you're
new
supposed to know,
situations.
but have never existed before.
One of the kids says that his brother was killed by or had committed suicide, right? It's
Yeah.
assumed that was
Freddy.
by Freddy, and he keeps on making references. And so I was sitting
He's
there going
in
like,
like the bloody bathtub,
yeah,
right?
is he making a reference to a prior Nightmare on Elm Street movie? But no.
That's what I assumed that I
Right.
missed. I was like, oh, so Zach Ward died in a previous Nightmare. No, brand new character.
Yep.
Never happened before.
Yep.
We're just getting like backstory of a movie that never existed.
Yep.
Yeah, and Monica Keena's father, there's like this whole radical subplot where
All of these people have met Freddy before. We've just never seen that movie
Yep.
So
because
thi-
it doesn't exist.
this is where this movie like starts off on really rocky ground, I guess, where you're supposed to believe this, right? That like all of the adults somehow still remember Freddy Krueger. None of the kids do, and they're not all taking the Hypnosil, right? Or is he has given it to his daughter.
Yeah.
Hypnosil was introduced in Dream Warriors, and it's a drug that keeps you from dreaming. And so,
Says so right on the bottle.
yep. And so that's
For the
how,
suppression of dreams.
Yes.
and that's how the parents of Elm Street or Springwood have figured out how to get rid of Freddy Krueger, which acknowledges that Freddy Krueger is a ghost that kills people in their dreams,
Right.
Yep.
which seems to be like common knowledge in this movie.
Yeah. For,
They're like,
for the adults.
You know who did it? That Freddy Krueger. Don't you say his name. I'm like, but you're acknowledging that a ghost is killing the kids?
Yeah.
So I guess, okay.
I can
everything-
understand how they wouldn't want that to get out for fear of looking insane.
Yeah. So it's just okay, that's a given.
Then it's accepted.
And so then the adults are like, we can't let word if, as long as the kids don't remember him, then we got this covered.
Right.
But
Freddy's a disease and they don't want him to spread.
But Freddy's like, I'm going to resurrect Jason. Jason's going to go start killing kids in Springwood, and all the adults are going to think that it's me. And so then it's going to bring my legend back. It'll spread like a virus, and then I'll be able to
The whole thing's a
invade-
vanity project.
Yes, because he needs the souls of the children to
Yes.
give him strength.
And if you're ever confused, there will be at least one scene where they say they conjecture all of this exactly.
Yeah.
They're spot on and they're guessing. So
That's
you'll get
lucky,
it.
huh?
So
That's
very
lucky.
lucky. Yes.
Did this movie, was this like one of those, like, did it seem like it was recapping its discoveries every 15 minutes or so?
It felt like it was just making shit up every 15 minutes. Yeah.
I was gonna say I don't know if it was recapping because every time anyone said anything, I was like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
How did you get that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like,
How
what,
did you get
what are you
that?
talking
Right,
about? Where
because
did
it-
that come from?
Right, because it doesn't connect to anything else. Anything they say is just them coming up with it out
Yeah.
of thin air.
Yeah.
And so you just have to go with it.
Yeah, there was never a point where people were saying something and I'm like, you already said this. I'm just like, what are you talking about? Yeah.
You mean we have to like wait, what was the best, and I'm putting that in air quotes, line was Freddy died by fire and Jason died by water? There's got to be a way we can use that.
Right? What?
Because
boy. And I get like from Ronnie Wu's perspective, he's like, okay, I get to color code, Jason is blue or green. Freddy, we just turn all the lights red.
Yep,
he's fire and red. Okay.
He's trying to boil it down to its elements. Basic simplicity. Fire versus water. Freddy versus
He's like,
Jason.
keep it simple, but it's not fucking simple.
Yeah.
No,
Nothing
can't
about
be,
it is simple.
Because you can't mesh these two like storylines together cleanly. It's like it really requires a lot of bending and shoving shit in there to like get them to, so you can get Freddy and Jason in the same place.
Yeah, but I also feel like I feel like it could have been done way better. Like I feel like it wouldn't have been that hard to make it better. I don't know. Am I wrong for thinking that?
I think probably it feels to me like a more skilled dramatist could have done it.
I think they're overcomplicating it.
For sure.
I agree.
I think just a good storyteller could come in and be like, well, you just have to do this, link this to this, and you're done. Like everything else will just. I mean, there's so much lore and so much like so much like magic in this that it's like it can be easily excused. They're just trying to tie things together that don't make sense.
Yeah, I don't. It's because it's. Yeah, I don't know. It's complicated because of the magic of it all.
Yeah.
These two. I don't know.
Just lean into the magic.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, a more skilled filmmaker could have done something a little more streamlined.
Yeah.
This is like, did Ron Yu do music videos? Because this feels just like, I thought he did. But
Well,
the general concept, I'm behind it. I get it. Freddy is like, well, I'm stuck here, but I can summon Jason and he can do my bidding, and then I'll come up and take over.
yeah.
That makes sense to me, and it feels pretty simple.
Well, I think it sounds simple in theory, but I think trying to get that, like all the drama, once you have characters, trying to get them to the point where that you can make that happen is kind of complicated because it's not like a natural graft. I guess that's what like that scene where Monica Keena breaks down at school right in the hallway. It was like, I heard them say the name Freddy Krueger, and all the kids like stop what they're doing, and listen. It's like, oh, okay, because this is the scene where we have to get the idea of Freddy Krueger out, and now that but it's like it feels so forced.
It's so forced because that has never happened in a school ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No school is going to stop and listen to one person who's ranting and raving about her bad dream. That's not a thing.
I would say most people don't even like hearing about other people's dreams.
Most of the time.
I
It's
don't.
really hard to
It's like, I don't
care.
give a shit.
If someone has a dream about me, I think that's cool to hear
Right,
about.
right.
I want to hear every detail, but otherwise, don't care.
Wait, what's that quote from It's Always Sunny? Dennis is like, dreams are like YouTube videos or something. Unless I'm in it or someone's having sex, I don't care.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's one of the most relatable things Dennis has
Yeah,
ever said.
exactly.
Well, I mean, in talking about dreams too, like, I mean, the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, I guess originally it felt like, at least in the first one, they kind of had that surrealist kind of thing going on.
Right.
Like, David Lynchian,
Yeah.
that Wes Craven, and then everybody had a dream sequence in their movie after that. But then as the series went on, they became like these big, huge set pieces. You're like, nobody actually dreams like this until the point where you get here where I'm like, they're not even playing with the elasticity of dreams, really. There's a girl in a boiler room and she hides in a like a locker, and the physics of everything, she's hiding from a dream creature. It's like, it feels like, okay, I'm quote unquote dreaming. I'm in a boiler room. And so I'm just running around hiding from somebody in a boiler room.
It feels very basic, especially after we get the recap of all the other Freddy movies. I'm just like, I think a lot of those elements should have been brought into this for Freddy, because especially when we get like the little CGI worm.
I
Oh,
fucking
this
hated that
thing.
so
comes in.
much. I
did
hated
too,
it so
but
much.
I think if they had gone practical with something like that in the way that they did in the previous like Freddy Krueger movies,
Yeah.
because all that practical stuff is like one of the reasons you keep coming back
Seeing
to
all
watch
those,
this and everything.
seeing all those scenes back to back to back, I was like, "That's so silly."
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
But
Like,
there's
those movies are so
completely,
silly.
there's a silliness to it, but it's also like they built a big giant Freddy head who eats.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's so
just like, there's
silly.
it's silly, but the fun of it, and you don't kind of get that.
You
fun
don't get that in this.
perspective in this.
No.
Yeah.
Well, and this thing's just hard to look at. And
It
it's not
is,
even just
yeah.
because the CGI aged poorly. I don't think it's just a well-designed creature at all.
Yeah.
It just,
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Is it supposed to be like an Alice in Wonderland?
I guess probably.
yes, so,
creature.
yeah, because it
I
brings
think-
a
yeah.
bong or a
I was
hookah
like,
for
they're,
the
I think
smoke.
Caterpillar.
they're playing
Yeah.
into him
Yeah.
being stoned. So they're
Yeah.
going with
Yeah.
the, yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
think
right, because
so.
Jay from Jay and Silent Bob inspired a character in this movie, the stoner character. You're like, okay, you're doing a version of Jay Muse. I wonder if like Jay Muse was supposed to be in it, and then
But
he
was
dropped
just-
out, and they were
was
just like,
doing heroin, and he's like, I can't do it.
yeah,
Quite possible.
They're like we can just
But-
put somebody to
also,
play you.
But basing it on them not wanting to pay any money for or whatever
Right.
for Kane Hodder, they're just like, let's just rip it off. Like we'll
Yeah.
just get someone similar.
Yeah.
You know, the stoner character. They'll say it's universal enough character.
Right.
Sure, it looks and acts a lot like Jay Muse, but here he is.
Yeah.
So they're just trying to cut a few corners in some places. It
Mhm.
seems.
So our main character is played by Monica Keena, who you said had been in Snow White: A Tale of Terror.
She was, yeah.
What'd she do after
What's the
that?
cheerleader
She was-
movie?
Yeah.
Man of the House with Tommy Lee Jones, where he's living in the house with all the cheerleaders.
Yep.
That's a funny one.
She had a arc on Dawson's Creek.
She
Yep,
did.
yep.
Wasn't she
She
a
was-
bitch and she died?
She died.
Yeah, she fell off the
Yeah,
dock.
I remember that.
Yeah,
Yes,
she
that
died on
was-
Dawson's Creek.
Man, the first time I saw that was so shocking.
It was shocking.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember that.
Oh my God.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She had a lot of small parts in the late 90s, early aughts.
What are you doing now, man?
Okay.
Yeah.
And so she's got lead role of Lori.
Mm-hmm.
I like the way that the first line in the movie proper is, Mike, is that you? Which, okay, is another nod to, you know,
Devil's
the
Advocate.
other slasher's not here.
Oh,
Did you
yeah,
say
that's
the
right.
Devil's
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orange County, Man of the House. That was that one.
Mhm.
Undeclared, Entourage, Grey's Anatomy. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
2009 remake of Night of the Demons.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. She was, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that,
Forgot
yeah,
about that.
with Edward Furlong.
Really? Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah. So-
Catherine Isabel from Ginger Snaps,
Yes.
Yeah.
Insomnia,
And a
and
future
American Mary,
Hannibal.
and yeah, she was the Hannibal TV series.
Yep. She was good in that.
Was she Mason Verger's
Verger's
sister?
sister. Oh, I forgot. About that. Yes.
So she's in this. I found out that was body double in the shower scene.
Body
Yep.
double in the shower.
Mhm.
She did go on to do nudity later on, I believe, but in this one, yeah, it's a body
It was
double.
very obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can always tell how they shoot them. Like
The
yeah,
haircut
no
looks
face.
completely different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, those are definitely not her boobs.
No.
And
yeah.
we've got Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child.
Yep.
We've got Jason Ritter,
Yes.
Yep.
son of John.
Mm-hmm.
Is there somebody else that I'm missing who's in the cast? But these are
Those are the most recognizable, I think.
Yeah, the other ones are like bit players I've seen in TV shows and a couple other movies and
Yeah.
stuff, but nobody major.
so. Her and her friends live in the Freddy Krueger house at
Yes.
428 Elm Street.
Yes.
And so Jason heads over there and kills everybody.
Mm.
And so then there's talk that, oh my God, Freddy is back
Yeah, who's this
amongst
Freddy
the officialdom.
Yeah.
We were talking about the subplot involving her dad. Do we say what it was?
Yeah, I mean,
With Will.
it takes a bit to get into it, and then it doesn't make sense. But
I couldn't even keep track of it. It was
her-
like just throwing shit at you, and you're like, what?
Monica,
Wait, what?
Monica Keena's boyfriend, Jason Ritter, was put in a mental institution because he saw her dad kill her mom,
Yes.
murder her mom, like in bed with a machete or whatever the fuck
Yeah,
it
it's
was,
an old
the
big
butcher knife. And so her dad, who's a doctor, had him admitted into a mental institution because of this.
Mhm.
Again, I thought this was from a movie I missed. It's not.
No, they're just making
They're
it up.
just
It was
making
like,
this
wait,
shit
what?
up.
In a movie with two cinematic serial killers going at it, you have to put like this subplot about like this guy killing his wife,
Right.
and covering it up. And I'm like, wait, what?
This is a trope of the Elm Street movies I don't like, is they always have to have some sort of dark family drama going on at the center of the movie. It's like, why can't we just come in on an average normal family that's not having like life-shattering turmoil, get haunted by Freddy Krueger, you
Yeah.
know?
Wouldn't it be more traumatic to not have all this trauma and then something more traumatic
Yeah,
happen?
yeah.
Wouldn't it be like peaceful birds chirping and everything,
Right.
and then have the traumatic thing
Yeah.
happen?
That was called
Exactly.
A Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
but then it
Yeah.
turns out that
But then
actually,
it was.
but that's
Yeah.
the discovery. That's why that
Right.
works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, there actually is a reason this is happening to you.
Yeah. But also the way that storyline finishes up, like how long have they really in the institution? 4 years, did they say?
I thought it was a year because her
Okay.
mom died. Didn't her mom die last
Okay, so
year?
Freddy's
Yeah, it was a
been
year.
around
So-
as long as last year,
The
technically.
only reason that I can see that they constructed that, the screenwriters constructed this, right, was because there's a moment at the end where there's no reason for our human heroes, the boy and the girl, to remain at the scene
Yes.
where the two titans of horror are fighting.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, we have to keep our human characters involved somehow. Why would they stay?
Mm.
You know, I mean, I suppose you could trap them, but you know, why would they want to be there? And it becomes a revenge thing,
Yeah.
right? Because it turns out in a surprise, shocking twist that her dad didn't kill her mom. He was trying to stab Freddy Krueger, who was killing her mom in the
Yes.
bedroom.
Right.
And so Freddy Krueger killed her mom. That makes it very personal. Well, I mean, they're all of her friends. You figure that also makes
Yeah.
it personal.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm going to stay here until that motherfucker is dead.
Mhm.
Okay. So
I don't
Meantime.
need any of this in a Freddy Krueger
I
movie
know,
or a
no.
Jason movie. I am here to see them slice and dice and maybe have some fun quips and do it in unique ways. That is it.
let me ask you a question.
That's it. Don't need anything else.
When you went into this movie,
Mhm.
who'd you want to win?
Jason. I'm more of a Jason fan.
Jason.
Yeah.
I know, so did I.
We're
What?
established not Freddy people, you know.
It's very
Is
true.
that like,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know, because you think about that, like, you know, I heard that they had considered two different endings.
Mhm.
I don't think they shot two different endings unless they did it to throw off the press or
I
something.
mean, they had
Here's
the
the
cake
thing.
and they ate it too anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. But I mean, because I heard, you know, Godzilla versus King Kong, the old 70s one, they shot it, I think, two ways, depending on what country you were in. King Kong is the American guy, and Godzilla is the.
But comparatively, like, what was the alternate ending?
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
to
Because
have
I mean, we
Freddy
haven't gotten
win.
there yet, but
Mhm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
there's not a resolution
Yeah.
in
But
this one. So
I guess it's strange that when you put two movie villains together,
Mhm.
or, you know, that are going to fight,
Mhm.
somehow one of them has to be like the bad guy and the other one is the sympathetic one, the underdog, right?
Mhm.
Like, I guess
Yeah.
they did that with Alien versus Predator also, which I think came before this, right?
Yeah.
You know, so it's like the Predator, I think
That's
because
the thing
it's
that-
somewhat
yeah.
articulate, is the one you want to win versus the alien.
Mhm.
And here, it's like Freddy is, because he's articulate, is more vocally twisted and
Yeah.
evil.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's because he's smarmy and tortures people.
Mhm.
Jason
Yeah.
just kills him.
And so we want him to lose and we
Yeah.
want Jason to beat his ass.
You know, if you think about it, Jason is a child who did nothing wrong. And Freddy Krueger is a child killer, maybe child sexual assaulter. So
Yes.
no wonder he's going after a child monster because this is his game. He's a child predator.
Did
So
you know?
shouldn't we want Jason to win?
Correct. Yeah.
In one of the other versions, they had Freddy was either responsible for having Jason killed, had an affair
like
with
that.
his mom. Like, there was a
I
whole.
hate all of
yeah.
these.
Yeah.
Or,
These
or
ideas
why didn't they
were-
go for the full way? Have Freddy molest Jason when he was a child?
Oh God! No!
And so
That's-
Jason's like, I'm going to get you, the guy who molested me when I was a kid.
Motivation.
Listen, calling him a child abductor implies the rest. We don't need to explicitly state any of it.
Yeah.
Right.
We can imply why he's abducting children. We
Right.
don't need to go there because it just makes things too dark and then it's not fun. You
And
know,
that was the remake.
Correct.
that was the remake.
Yeah.
You know,
Because this
So,
one,
yeah.
I was looking at the.
it was
you know,
toeing the line in this one a
Yeah.
couple
Yeah.
times.
the visual language. He licks a
photograph.
Yeah.
his shadow coming over the little girl in the corner. and
He
It's
turns into that
disgusting.
girl's dad and then tongue kisses her.
So gross.
That was
Yeah.
disgusting. Yes.
yeah.
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 There was also a scene that is just very much breezed over in this that really bothered me is when Ginger Snaps is in Freddy's world and she's also getting like sexually assaulted in the real world.
Yeah.
I had a huge problem with that scene.
Yeah.
Both things are happening at the same time.
Oh, at the rave. The
Yeah.
big, by the
Corn-
river.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
All right, corn rave.
We've all been to corn raves.
We have indeed. I wouldn't have called it
But
a
I'm
rave.
serious, we have. Like,
No,
yeah,
it's very
we've
true,
been to a
folks.
rave.
We live in the middle of the
I wouldn't
Midwest.
call it a rave.
Maybe this is
But
how
gathering in the corn.
Maybe this is how the rich rave, you know? But
Maybe.
yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a
it's-
rave when you
private
have
school
glow
raving.
sticks?
Yeah, and a DJ.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Sounds
And
Yeah.
some sort of
Speaker.
psychedelic drugs,
This
probably.
is not
Yeah.
how
Yeah.
cornfield parties
Anything
go.
more than cars lighting up the cornfield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've gone another level.
Yeah,
Yeah.
cars in a cornfield. One of them has their radio on. That's the only music you got, and there
Yep.
might be a fire, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like this.
But not in this one.
There's
This
not,
is the Hollywood
there's
version.
not a DJ and string lights.
Yeah.
Like no.
And we're getting all the new metal that we can have
Yes.
pumped into our ears.
This is the most new metal
into my
soundtrack
veins.
ever made. Like,
Yeah.
I think you could make a bingo card based on everything. Because I looked it up and I was like, wow, even more. I thought Hatebreed, Seether, Stone Sour, Slipknot. Like, you
Yeah.
name a band that was popular from 98 to 2004. It is on this soundtrack.
I know it sold the
buddy.
soundtrack, but like when
Yeah.
I was watching the movie, I think I picked out like 3 tracks that.
Yeah. I think there's more people on the
Actually heard.
soundtrack than in the movie soundtrack.
There's
you know what I
20
mean?
tracks on this soundtrack. Yeah.
Some of those like music inspired by the movie
Yeah.
Freddy vs.
Yes.
Jason.
Yeah, because then they can make cool music videos cut to it. So
Yeah.
footage from the
This
And I
movie.
mean-
movie
so-
didn't inspire shit.
The corn rave scene does kind of seem like, it's a heavy metal music video moment.
Yep.
You know, I do appreciate them for being like, this movie's set in the Midwest. They would have a party in a cornfield. They got that part right. Yes,
That
we
is
would.
right. Yes.
So I appreciate they made an effort to do the representation correctly. But yeah, it was just a little more. It was a movie party, you know,
Yeah.
kind of like how the
Yeah.
barn party in Scream 4 is like not what a barn party
Right,
would actually
yeah.
be like, you know.
No, we need our corn representation.
The Everclear consumption was accurate though.
Yeah, that was like for some reason that was like the only hard alcohol. that
Yeah, why
available
was
in
it
high
always
school.
ever? I
It
think
was
it's
always
'cause-
Everclear.
Was it because there was like that kind of urban legend that it got you like more fucked up than
I think
other
so.
More fucked
alcohol?
up. It
Like,
would
yeah.
you could go blind.
Yeah,
That was
you
the
could
one
go
I always
blind,
heard.
yeah.
Drink too
I
much, you
forgot
go
about
blind.
that
Yes.
one.
Isn't
Yeah.
it made
I don't wanna
from
go blind.
corn mash or
Yeah.
something like that? It's a
Yeah.
corn derived.
See,
You
we
yeah.
run your engine and you and
Yeah, I
What
forgot
my
about
friends would
that.
do is we would make jungle juice. I'm sorry, that's probably not an appropriate name for it, but
Yeah.
that's what we called it. We would get like
Yeah.
either like a big galvanized steel tub or
Yeah.
sometimes a
bucket.
trash can or a bucket.
A bucket,
Pour
yeah.
all the Everclear in it, and then everyone brings fruit or juice or something
just
and
put
all
it all
through it.
in.
And
Yeah.
usually someone had a yardstick mixing it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
yes, double.
and then everyone had their assigned cup, and you literally would just scoop it in there.
Yep.
I know the
So-
kids today don't know what we survived.
No wonder why.
That's why
like,
we are the
That's a
people
very
we
good
are.
sentence.
That's why we all.
It's true. It's true.
I know. After that,
idea.
it felt like COVID didn't seem like a big deal. I drank out of the jungle juice.
Yeah, you know what I did when I was 16?
Yeah.
Oh,
Drinking jungle juice, getting in cars with people you don't know.
Yes,
like man,
exactly. In the
Although
middle of
that's
a field.
That's
Lucky
like the
we didn't
equivalent of,
Yeah.
RFK going, germs don't bother me. I used to snort cocaine off toilets.
Yeah, it is.
You have no idea what I've survived.
But the scene itself is a centerpiece because Jason shows up and sets about. It's the biggest. Aside, I suppose, from that time that he killed all those kids in the. Oh no, I guess in the boat. In the dance room, but he just blows them up.
Yeah.
This is like Jason going through and hacking down kids left and right,
Yep.
love
Some
it.
guy died
on
twice.
fire.
I did. There's one guy who died twice.
That's so
Same
funny.
move, too.
Yeah, because I
I
guess
love
that's
that.
what we want in our Jason movie. We would just want like the epitome of he cuts people down.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah.
have him
Yeah.
cut down 10, 20 people.
Yep, spurting blood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So much spurting blood in this. Oh, my God.
I like when he's stealthier about it, though. You know,
Yeah,
I
'cause
like
that's
it when
what
he's
he
a little more
is.
deliberate. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But-
yeah.
This is literally like shooting fish in a barrel.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah. And he can't die. There's
No.
nothing can kill him.
No, but it is pretty cool that since we're talking about the Everclear, does get thrown on him, and he does get set on fire.
Smart move.
It is
Sorry,
a
this
smart
was a
move.
good move
Yeah,
by the
it's a smart
serial
move.
killer. It is extremely
Visually-
flammable.
It's him cutting a row through the cornfield, setting it on a big line of fire.
Yep.
He gets extinguished by
A keg of beer.
Keg of beer. Nice and
Yeah.
foamy.
Yep.
And Freddy gets all pissed off about this because
Those are my kills.
yeah.
Wham.
he can't kill those kids and suck all the energy out of their
force.
soul.
Yeah,
And so he's got to do something about it. And so
because he hasn't yet. Because we're still not to the verses.
Yep. Yep.
We're like
right.
more than halfway through this movie.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of other stuff
Building
going on in the real world where
that's
Jason
what it is.
Ritter breaks out of the
Right.
sanitarium,
And
comes
they
back,
have to go
reunites.
back. They have to go back to get some of that no dream
Hypnosil,
medicine.
Yeah, because that's the only way to beat Freddy is if you don't dream about him, because now everybody's dreaming about Freddy and getting killed off in not
Yeah.
very creative ways.
No.
Not super
No.
creative, no.
I was disappointed with the guy who just wakes up from a dream next to his dad, and his dad's head's just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
And,
just like, it's just he's
and
just
it's just splattered across the house.
Yeah.
I think the
Yeah.
one that people probably would remember is the guy getting folded in half in the bed.
Right.
dead. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Why did I feel like I had seen this before?
Right,
though?
because I
It's
think you
happened
have.
before.
Yeah.
I've definitely
trying to
seen
remember
this.
where.
I know. I'm trying to remember where too, but I feel like on this
Yeah.
show we've seen
It was
this.
probably in
Yeah,
a Friday the
I think
13th
so.
movie.
Mhm.
It doesn't feel like it was in a Friday the 13th
Somebody
movie.
gets- well, all right, let's put it this way.
He
In
breaks the
in
cop
part
back in
6,
half.
he,
Yeah.
he folds
Yeah.
the cop in half.
Yeah.
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 So it is a thing that does happen.
So they go back to the
Catherine
sanitarium.
Isabel dies in that scene, by the way.
Mhm.
That's the one.
Mhm.
Oh, the one where she's being assaulted while she's passed out drunk.
Yeah.
But Jason rescues her by killing her and the other dude, and then flinging that guy into space
Yes.
on the end of a pole.
Honestly, he just goes, no, I thought he'd end up in the crowd with the people. And
Right.
That's what
Yeah.
would scare them initially. But yeah, flung to the moon is, you're right. I wish he had gone to the moon.
Like
Because
in
everyone- the way
Hercules. Just
Yes.
see the
Yeah. When he
flying
threw the
off the
bear.
pole.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. But the way people get flung around in this movie is very funny because
It
they go
is.
flying, and just the computer animation of it is very funny.
It is extremely cartoony. It is Looney
Very
Tunes at
right,
certain
because they
points.
don't move; they're stuck in that position and they're just flying across
Yeah.
the sky. It's
I
very
would have
funny.
liked if they had had a wide shot of the party and just see that guy go flying across the moon.
Yeah,
that would be
amazing. Really
Right,
funny.
yeah, two people talking and then
Yeah.
you just see him fly
Yeah,
across.
that would have been
That'd have been
hilarious.
funny.
Yes.
I was like, they could have leaned more into this so
Yes.
much.
That okay?
I know. I don't
down.
think
That's a
that
good
would
one.
be like too far extreme and outside the tone.
I
of
don't
Not
this
for
think
this
movie.
so.
one. No.
Not
Yeah.
how
be
we'll
fun.
get to like that boiler room scene in hell where Freddy's throwing him around to ping pong sound effects.
Yeah,
Like,
I was
it's
like,
not out of place in this movie.
I was like, they do pinball.
Yeah.
You can't make him go across the moon. Like
Yeah.
you can
Right.
lean into this. It's silly.
Yeah.
You can lean into it.
Yep.
Well, at the sanitarium, Freddy takes possession of the stoner kid, and the stoner kid then injects Jason with tranquilizers
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
and knocks him out. And that means that Jason can fall into a deep sleep where Freddy can confront him.
Finally, versus.
Yes.
Finally.
And so what'd you think, Holly? Because this was the big title fight. Well, it wasn't the title.
It wasn't. It was the
Warm up.
prelude.
Yep.
It was the prelude. Yeah. I want.
Freddy's got knives. Jason's got a machete.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. They're in Freddy's world,
Yep.
so he has the advantage. I get that's what they were doing, but I really wanted Jason to have a little more hulkiness.
Something
You know,
More
like
agency.
Yeah.
he's huge
Mhm.
and he's like unkillable. Like he.
Mhm.
Yeah. At a
I
certain-
want him to be a little more forceful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I guess maybe the disappointment of this a little bit is that at a certain point, what can they do? They slash
Yeah.
at each other.
I know.
Mhm.
I know.
Which is what ends up being at the end, and it's just
It-
Well,
like,
and they're
yeah,
like
that's
characters
what
that
it
can't
is.
die. So it's
Yeah.
like
Right,
there's
yeah.
no real
So-
stakes
and I hate
involved.
that. Like,
That's
when you-
the-
But I did like when he ripped his arms off.
yeah.
And then he like grows them back, but still, I liked that he ripped his arms off.
Yeah.
That was a nice touch.
Because that's where we got to go. Dismemberment.
But that's
you know,
what I
so-
want. Like
yeah.
these two just need to rip each other apart.
Yeah.
Well, that's the problem with the Deadpool and Wolverine movie too. It's
Right.
like
Yeah,
two
exactly.
indestructible people that can die.
Yeah.
Right,
What's the
yeah.
point of
Sucks.
this?
And they
Yeah.
don't seem to, nobody feels any kind of pain.
No.
Yeah,
Right.
and plus we get again. We're coming from a whole line of movies where Freddy will just out of nowhere imagine a kid in a video game and then
Yeah.
beat the fuck out of him.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the imagination between these fights is nothing.
Which is that's so stupid that you have you can do literally anything because the
Anything.
excuse is it's a dream and your dreams are known for being surreal and weird.
Yeah.
And yet this you do like the most uninspired things.
Yeah.
It's a fight in a boiler room.
Yeah, and then
How many times have we fucking seen Freddy Krueger fight in a boiler room at this
and then
point?
suddenly like, oh, he's afraid of water.
And that's it.
Which that
Okay,
it does make sense, but not in the way they execute
Right.
it. Like,
Yes.
if you told me he's
100%.
afraid of large bodies of water,
Like,
Yes.
if Jason comes
Yes.
near me and I turn on a sink, is he
Yes.
going to be okay?
Right, right.
What's, like this is what it's saying.
He found his
Yes.
Achilles heel.
They're-
and I
really-
realize that
it's-
things are
they're-
amplified in a dream
They're
Right.
really acting like Frankenstein with fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what they're
Because it
doing.
is the smallest stream of water between him and Freddy Krueger
It's
that
like
he
a-
can easily walk
It's
around.
like a very delicate waterfall.
yes, exactly.
It's like something you'd buy at Sharper Image.
Right, right. Now, if Freddy had run out on the edge of a dock and then jumped in the lake,
I know,
that
but-
I would make sense, you know?
But this undermines like everything we've ever seen in a Friday the 13th movie where Jason goes walking around underwater
Yeah.
like all the time.
Right.
He
You know,
lives,
yeah.
he lives underwater.
No.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's
yeah.
true.
But
That
That's
was-
his home.
Yeah,
that's
that
where
was
he
another
comes
thing.
from.
Yeah.
That was
spawns
another thing. I
from
was
the
like,
water.
is this the first time we've talked about him being afraid of water? Have we
Yeah, I
seen
think
this
so.
before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
That was
It
another.
is.
Right, because they're trying to give weaknesses to indestructible beings.
That
It's
was
the
another
first
thing
time
that I
that Jason
didn't know if
has
I missed
had
it or
a
not.
fear.
Yeah, yes, been afraid of anything.
I didn't like that.
He clung to the side of a boat all the way to New York.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been in the water.
yeah.
I know. He's waterlogged. Like,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. May have spent more time under there than
Yeah.
above.
I know. That's why this seems weird, but
It
it's
seems like it would be his strength, if anything.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Like he shines underwater.
Like he's Aquaman. He has control over the water now. He's
Right?
the deep.
Which just adds to the non-inventiveness of it, yes.
Well, we get a flashback. This is where we go into Friday the 13th territory. And in the flashback, we see young Jason being tormented by the other kids at the camp,
Yeah.
which is a new wrinkle. And they basically murder him. They push him into the water.
Yeah. So it wasn't just negligence. It was premeditated homicide.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I always got the idea he went out
Group
swimming
homicide.
at night or something. Like that's
Yeah.
what we see in the original movie, but even that's like a subjective point of view. But
Yeah.
and then the counselors are very literally not paying attention as
'Cause
they're
they're
having sex
fucking.
They're just fucking in broad
outside
daylight.
in broad
On broad daylight on the porch
Yeah.
in their counselor uniforms.
Yeah.
Like
next
it's,
to other ones.
Yes. Yeah.
It does end up being Freddy, so it's a little more dramatized, but
Yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
gonna come?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
So love that we're making sex jokes and we're talking about a child drowning.
Yeah, can we
Ugh,
not? Can we
gross.
not?
Like it's just foul sometimes,
it
man.
is,
This movie
it
takes
is.
some foul turns. But I think that kind of is indicative of the time though.
Oh,
This sense of humor is very
Yeah,
much
it's
It was a
2003.
foul
2003.
time.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was. It really, was.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was grimy in 2003.
Yeah,
It was
it fit right in.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, this leads our heroes to. This is a scene I guess I never thought that I'd see where they load him in the back of a camper van or a conversion van
Yeah.
and get the idea that they're going to drive him to Crystal Lake. How far away? We're saying that's New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe they don't say. Crystal
So
Lake could be
Ohio to
anywhere.
New Jersey.
They're going
Okay.
from Ohio to New Jersey.
yeah.
Yeah, because Springwood's in New Jersey, right?
Springwood's in
Ohio.
Ohio.
Is it Ohio?
Camp
Yeah.
Crystal Lake's in New Jersey.
That's a long drive.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a long drive. Yeah, but they act like it's like 30 minutes.
But that could be why they have to use so much tranquilizer on Jay. We're like, why are they pumping
yeah.
him full so much? It's because they've been on the road for like 10 hours.
They have not.
I did like when they were in the van and he was like, that goalie's pissed off.
Yeah, that was funny.
That was funny.
Well, there's another scene that happens in the van, which again I never thought that I would see. Which Jason,
We have to save Jason from
yeah.
dying.
Yeah.
Kelly
Right.
Rowland is going to have to give CPR to
I have asthma.
Jason
I've had asthma
Voorhees.
since I was
Specifically
7.
mouth to mouth.
Yeah.
Because no one at this time understood that chest compressions were the most important part.
right
Yeah,
It's just mouth to mouth.
But also,
Jason is drowning.
in his
Yes.
dream
In his
and in
dream.
real
His
life.
Dream,
Yeah.
But so like, there's an
He's
endless
spitting
supply
up water.
of water
Yeah.
in this man.
Yeah.
Like,
It just
is
keeps
mouth to
gurgling
mouth gonna
out.
do anything?
No.
No.
Chest compressions.
I'm not.
Like
I'm not
Holly
that
said, he's
interested.
waterlogged.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, that's how much he's been underwater. No, I'm not interested enough in saving Jason's life that I would give him out.
I know this is
dumb.
so she's pulling back the mask and you see his like
But
fugly mouth and
I did like when the kid was like, I can't do it. I have asthma. And then Jason Ritter was like, he's got asthma.
Yeah.
That was funny.
so
He's got
Jason, of course, wakes up from his dream trauma, even though he's got all this tranquilizer in him, and causes an accident.
in which he goes flying across the moon.
Everyone
Oh, he
else
does go
survives,
flying.
and
This
thank
is
God
also
they
a scene
have
that's in a Rob Zombie
ended up
movie.
right outside the new Crystal Lake development, which I did kind of like this. I like that idea that, okay, at the lake, they're about to build. So there's a bunch of construction equipment there
Yeah.
as they're about to build this new housing development or whatever. And so Monica Keena, Lori,
Yeah.
is Is it Laureiie or Lori?
In this? I don't know.
I bet you it's Lori.
We never see it spelled
Just
in
to
this.
make sure that it's not, ripping off Hallie.
Probably.
Yeah, Lori.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So she's out cold, right? And because it exists in Dream Warriors, you can go into somebody else's dream and because she's in Jason's dream.
Yeah.
And then she can't wake up and she's in a bunch of other dreams and she finds out, yes, her dad didn't kill her mom.
Yeah.
And then Freddy is about to kill her, but he's taking his time, right? And so she grabs onto him as she's awakening and springs him into the real
on
world.
Fire. That's what wakes
Yes.
her up. Her hands on fire.
That's right, because they did steal that moment from A Nightmare on Elm Street where if you grab onto something in the dream and you wake up, it comes into the real world.
Right.
Oh, so they took something
She
from
grabbed his ear.
This has always been a thing.
Okay.
Yeah. And so then that means that she hangs on to him at the end and she brings him into the real world. And now we have Freddy Krueger in the real world again. And Jason is in the real world. And now the physics of the
And
real
they're at
world are going to
Camp Crystal
apply.
Lake.
Yeah.
They're on his turf.
And the great mano a mano battle ensues. How did
Blood.
we rate this?
Blood.
Because, this is what we're here for. We've paid our tickets. We want to see it.
Blood. Lots of
Yeah.
It's good enough.
It was spurty.
There's
Mhm.
some interesting stuff. I like when he flips the torpedoes. I thought was a
That
fun
was
scene.
fun. That was
the
fun.
gas,
Yeah.
the nitrogen or
I
whatever
like
is like
that.
flinging it.
Way too much stuff was left at this camp for a long time.
Yeah.
There's no way this
Yeah.
stuff would still be there.
I do like that Freddy uses the environmental stuff to his advantage. so that was a good
I
move.
like that.
Well, I think it's under development. They're about to build all this stuff, so that's
Oh,
why
okay,
it's
okay.
So that's why all the
That
rebar
makes-
is there
that
that you
makes
can.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's a good
dump on
idea to
Jason.
pin him to the ground with rebar. I like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, that was good.
There's some interesting stuff.
And then they get a bunch of thrashes, smashes, and hits going
There's
in
a lot
there.
of slicing and dicing and blood spurts. And,
But again, I don't like how easily he was overtaking Jason because at this point he doesn't have the dream advantage. He doesn't have the
Right.
magic advantage.
Yeah,
Jason's a lot stronger and bigger than him.
yeah.
it doesn't seem that way,
It
though.
doesn't seem that way.
Yeah,
That's why I was like, this doesn't add up.
I think they're purposely favoring Freddy because of that reason.
Yeah.
Because Jason is so big and hulking, you'd think like, oh, this shouldn't be a. This
Is
should be
this
an easy
all
matchup.
a New Line conspiracy? Is it like New Line's like, this is our movie, so
We're
he's
gonna
going to be the
fuck him
winner.
up.
Yeah, and we're going to make Jason look weak. Yeah.
Yeah,
Do
maybe.
go back and forth between them where you're like, oh no, Freddy's gonna win. Oh no, Jason's gonna win. And it's just like they do give it a good back and forth a little bit. 'cause-
Not as much as you'd think, though.
Mm-hmm.
Most of the time, Freddy's winning.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. There's a lot of he's sticking the knives all the way into the fingers, into Jason. Yeah, bloody. You said it is a lot. These guys are full of it. It can't come spilling out.
bursting at the seams.
Yeah.
And I guess that's kind of, it's like we've gone past the time of the practical, gory visual effect. It's not like a gory movie in that way, but it does splatter blood around a lot.
Our
I mean,
title
in the
sequence
opening
starts out with
titles,
just blood.
yeah, just blood. It's
Yeah, they're just like, this is
splatter.
they're telling you, they're foreshadowing, like this is what it's going to be. Just
Yeah.
a lot, buckets of blood.
Yeah.
And
I'm fine with that.
So ultimately, because there's more fire, right? As Monica Keena lights the dock on
Linderman
fire.
Gets
Yeah.
killed.
Because this is the point where she's like, I can't leave until I see him die. He killed my mom.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kelly Rowland gets killed.
Yeah.
The dark meat line comes in.
And I think
Oh God. It was just offensive line back to back in like a 1 minute period.
2003.
Freddie had an offensive line and then immediately Kelly Rowland had one.
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness!
yeah.
This
Yeah.
is then. This is like this
Yeah.
is unfortunately this is the attitude of this time too.
Yeah.
Like this really does
not good.
cement it
Because
because
this is like either written or improvised, but I mean, like
It was
there's
the
edited
writers
by
claim
her.
that they did not write this.
well, they
line.
would say that now.
Yeah.
Well, no, but you can tell by watching her, she's improvising.
Yeah.
And maybe she was told by a P-Day or an executive to try something different and edgier on the day of. Maybe she was encouraged
Yeah,
to
they
say something
kept
like
it- I
this.
mean, like,
but it was
it
kept
went
in the
through-
cut.
yeah.
Kept in the
Yeah.
cut. It
Yeah,
does
but
nothing
it just
for anybody.
it
but
doesn't
was
add
kept in
anything
there.
to
Well, I'll tell you what it does do. All of this stuff. It's I think when you mock one of these characters so mercilessly, it's like you do kind of make and her performances like in a different movie or a different scene. Like she does not care that there's this guy with razor fingers like right there coming at her.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? I don't buy this. I mean, like,
Yeah, why are you so brave right now?
yeah.
Yeah, what? He's just going to kill you. Like, what is your point? What is your purpose here?
Yeah, but it
To-
gives
to
her,
die.
I guess, her big star moment.
Right. It's Kelly Rowland from Destiny Child. They're like, we'll give you a moment.
And then she
This
gets
was
killed by Jason. And then she's gone. And then, so the climax takes place on the dock where Jason does lose his fingers, right? So then you were like, well, you're not coming back from that.
No.
This is the real world. You can't get your hand back. So now he can't carry his machete. Oh, my. What's he going to do? He's been basically
God, he has no
unarmed.
hands. Wait, he does.
And then I think he pulls off Freddy's right hand. So
Claw arm, yeah.
Freddy doesn't have his weapon anymore. And then the dock explodes.
Yep.
And then, as our two heroes are consoling each other on the dock, a figure with loud footsteps walks up,
Jason.
and we see the machete.
Yeah, we see the machete
Entering
enter
the
frame, big footsteps, but it's Freddy. Until
And just as he's about to strike, Jason pops up and shoves Freddy's blades through his chest. So
Yep.
each character uses the other one's weapon
yeah,
Against
to
them.
kill the. At the end of the movie, is this what we want? I mean, I guess I'm like, okay, all right.
I mean, it's-
yeah,
Honestly, it's the only ending that really makes sense to me.
yeah.
And Freddy is, well, I think he's beheaded.
Freddy, yeah, because he gets that.
Yeah.
Jason falls back into the water after his
Because Monica
stab.
Keena gets the machete and
Yep.
beheads Freddy.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Freddy
Yeah.
killed her mom, and so she's got to get her revenge.
Because it's personal.
This is personal.
And I really hated how many times the phrase "Welcome to my world" was used in this movie.
Yeah.
What,
You're in my world now.
yeah, what,
bitch.
3, 4 times?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I know Freddy Krueger says bitch a lot,
Yep.
He does, and
but
Sometimes
there's only
it's funny, but it doesn't.
there's like
always
one
land.
time it was good.
Yeah.
Once
Welcome to prime time, bitch. Yeah.
and that was
yeah.
it. And I don't like it. It's cliche every time it's used after that, but it's also cliche. They do the same bitch in Scream.
Yeah.
Every time Ghostface says bitch, they're trying to do Freddy Krueger.
Right.
For the Wes Craven and all and everything, and it just doesn't
Don't like it.
feel
Mhm.
right.
Monica Keena kind of, I don't know. It's like there's a respectful kind of stare off between her and Jason as Jason's like, I can finally rest. And he closes his eye and sinks beneath the, right?
Yeah. It's like I'm back home, I'm going in the water. He doesn't seem so afraid now.
Yeah,
He does
right?
feel like he's
He's
going
not
down.
afraid of the water now.
Yeah.
Or he's dead.
But he's not.
He's not dead.
No, it turns out there's a kicker at the end of this movie.
Yeah.
I'm glad they didn't. Should this have been a post-credit sequence?
Probably.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
The way it's
Probably.
shot
It
and the way
was-
it's
it was
edited.
too
yeah.
Now it would be.
Yeah.
It was too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jason comes walking out of the water. And we're like, oh shit, he survived. He's the winner. And he's the winner because he's towing Freddy's
head.
dismembered head.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Freddy opens his eyes and winks at the camera. We're so cheeky.
yep. You can never keep a good
Drink
son of a
demon down.
thousand maniacs,
Yeah.
bastard son of a thousand maniacs down.
Yep.
But I guess you could because his next appearance would be in
The Goldbergs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Many years
Yeah.
later.
And it's like, and everyone talks about that because that scene was hyped up so much. It is like
That's very
10-second
Yeah,
scene.
it's very short.
very short. Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
This movie was extremely successful, I think, in North America at least.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know how big these characters are, like outside of the U.S., to be honest with you. I know, obviously, in some countries, but I'm like, did
Yeah.
Ronnie Wu, like, really, because I know there was, it inspired The Ring versus The Grudge,
Yes.
Sadako versus Kayako or whatever,
right.
where they did a promotional thing where they threw out like a
First pitch?
First pitch. of a
Oh,
baseball
yeah.
game.
They
I've seen
did.
those clips. Yes.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, this did
That was big in Japan.
116 million.
Yep.
This is a very successful movie.
Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
good.
I mean, we waited so long, we had to go see it. But did
Yeah.
anybody like it is the question, and I guess we will tell you at home whether we liked it after we read some of your mail. But in order to do that, we're going to have to summon our mailman, Igor. Why don't you bring us the mail?
Masters, the mail. I've got the mail. So many letters. Our followers are rising.
Why, thank you, Igor.
Do you think he's been to Boiler Room Hell?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, he travels a lot. So,
Yeah.
What do you think is behind that wall right there?
Right? Who would Igor
Fair.
go up against in a versus? Igor versus Hunchback of Notre Dame?
I think
Igor
he's got
versus-
multiple nemesis. It would have to be a multiverse thing where it's like he's the
Yeah.
underdog taking on a whole team of people, I think,
Are there any
Yeah.
other male monsters? Male as in delivery.
as in
Sure, yeah.
delivery.
Yeah.
The guy from Yui Bowl's Postal.
There you go.
Okay.
Sure.
That's fine. As long as you Bowl doesn't get the direct,
Yeah.
then we'll be
Is he
fine.
still making movies?
Probably somewhere. I can't imagine
Is
that
he?
man gives up on
How
me.
Yeah.
have we not done a Yui Bowl movie?
They're hard to watch. That's how.
Didn't No Alone in the Dark came here?
No.
No? Oh, that's...
No House of the Dead.
Is it worth it? I don't know if I've ever watched one
I
of
think
his
the
movies.
only one that anybody ever actually saw
Blood Rain?
was oh yeah, I saw Blood Rain.
Or and the Kingdom with Jason Statham, the king. What was the
Oh,
it was
yeah.
from the
Fuck, what was that one called?
Dragon Siege Advent. No, was it? Is it Dragon
it was
Dungeon
like something
Siege?
of the
Dragon-
king?
Yeah.
Something of the king of Dragon Siege Adventure.
Yeah, I
yeah,
think so.
yeah, something like that.
And then where'd he go? He started making real movies, maybe, and nobody
Just you
cared.
shut up. He
Okay.
did not. Real movies.
Well, we should let the good folks at home know how they can participate on this interactive portion of our show by following along on Facebook
Facebook.com/Saturday Night Freak Show.
or X
At Sat Freak Show.
or by email
SaturdayNightFreakShow@yahoo.com.
or on Instagram at Saturday Night Freak Show. And a lot of you wrote in about this one. Holy crap.
Yeah, it was a thing. It's Freddy vs. Jason.
People got thoughts.
So MF Mad, the keeper of the Saturday Night Freak Show Wall of Fame,
Hello,
wants
sir.
us to know that this is the 10th time we've had Robert Englund on the Saturday
Oh, wow.
Night Freak Show.
Wow.
Wow.
He
Wow.
was in. What?
It's like becoming his wall.
Yeah.
I know,
It's
10
up there,
times.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna need a top 5.
Right.
soon.
He's definitely a pillar.
It seems so.
Yeah.
Well, he pointed out, he listed Dead and Buried, Never Too Young to Die, Nightmare on Elm Street, Dream Warriors, 976 Evil, because he directed it.
Mm.
He didn't leave the other ones, or I didn't copy the
He directed
the tweet.
976 Evil?
He directed, yeah, he was. I think that's the
Damn.
only movie that
That's
he's
cool.
directed,
I'm
right?
waiting to bring that to the Freak Show. I've never seen that.
Have we not?
I think we did
did
it.
it?
Yeah, I
back
know,
in
but
the-
was it before my
Yeah.
time though?
I was not. It was before.
I wasn't here either.
Yeah, I've never
us
seen
three
it.
We're not here.
Oh, we can do it.
Yep.
Them's the rules.
Yep.
We do Urban Legend,
Yes,
did
we
both
did.
of them.
Yeah,
Urban
we
Legend.
did. Yeah.
We've done both.
and then we've done at least 3 Nightmare on Elm Street movies.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ken Kernsinger, Jason in this movie also is making it to the wall because we watched Jason Takes Manhattan. He was the cook. In 13 Ghosts, he was the uncredited team member.
Okay.
And he
right.
was also Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. And we're also bringing Chris Gauthier into the Freak Show wall because he was Shaq. He was the guy handing out, I believe, the tickets to the rave.
Gotcha.
You remember him as the Fat Hesher in Beyond the Black Rainbow.
I try not to remember that
I
movie
try
at
not
all.
to
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Or I like that movie. I'm the only one.
I know
Tom's
you
one
did.
of those,
And the the uniformed officer in Insomnia.
Okay.
Okay.
Was this
right.
movie shot in Canada?
It must have
I think
been.
I think part of it was.
Oh, I think
this
so.
movie?
Yeah,
I
which
think
would
so.
explain some of the casting.
I think so.
Oh.
Richard Krotzer says, yes, give me all the verses. Kong versus Godzilla, Alien versus Predator, Batman versus Superman, Rousey versus Carreno, Tyson versus Holyfield. I can't get enough. All joking aside, I really do want them all. This one gets a lot of love and hate, but for those haters, what did you really expect? It's Freddy versus Jason, and I thought it really delivered. I love it.
Yep. We do a lot
Yeah.
of verses.
Yeah.
We're fans.
I'll always watch it.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
always
always-
going to watch it, even
Yeah,
if I know it's going to be
Because that's
bad.
the construction we do in our head. What if
Yeah.
this person fought this person? It's like the basic thinking when you have characters you like.
That last Kong versus Godzilla was really good, actually. I enjoyed that one.
I like that
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
I
a good
like that
one.
one.
That was a good one.
Now you can just generate any matchup that you want.
Ugh.
Ew.
Mark Harrison writes in and says, I wonder if you all agree with the statement that this film was the death of the 1980s horror franchises. Horror never felt 1980s cheese ever since.
Was it this one? I feel like
I mean,
it
they've
died
tried
before.
to bring it back. There was, what was that one I saw with Finn Wolfhard like last year?
I don't know. I think you're the only one who saw this.
Camp one.
This sucks or what? What's it called?
It's
Camp Sucks or
something.
like,
Shit, I can't even remember the time. But I mean, every once in a while, it seems like we do like a throwback
Yeah.
to 80s style.
Yeah.
I mean, that
in a
whole
violent nature.
that whole Fear Street run was just throwbacks.
Was all-
It was.
Every
Yeah.
single
It was,
one.
yeah.
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 I don't feel like this was the death of it. I feel like this was a product of its time.
Yeah, it's
I-
very
definitely,
2003.
yeah.
Hell of
It's
Summer
definitely
is what
like
it's
I mean, it is, I suppose, like the end of those two
Characters.
series.
Yeah.
Sure,
Until
but
you go like, well, now we have to
Yeah.
reboot them.
Mhm.
Michael Whitaker says, all right, confession time.
Ooh.
This is the first Friday the 13th, The Nightmare on Elm Street that I willingly sat through and saw in the theaters. At the time, I enjoyed it, but admittingly, having seen it a few times since then, it has the 2000 stink all on it.
Yep.
They did, in fact, make a sequel of sorts in comic book form. It was called Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash, and it's a real shame.
Yep.
It never got turned into a movie because Ash is, I think he's setting up an S-Mart
Mhm.
in
Crystal
either
Lake.
Crystal Lake or Springwood. And then he does the Deadite thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Jason
I'm
is
into
a
it.
Jedi.
That's see, there we go.
Sean Ford says, do you believe Jason would actually be afraid of water like they portrayed in the Dream Battle?
as we discussed,
Yeah,
we all
we
have issues
discussed.
with that.
Thank you for that question.
Yeah,
You were
not
thinking
the way-
same thing we were.
That is a valid question.
Yep.
Simon Carter says, this is a really fun movie. It makes good on what it set out to deliver and remember not to take itself too seriously.
Definitely didn't take itself seriously.
Yeah.
The boy with
there's a worm with a bong.
Mhm.
right. The boy with the Jason tattoo says, I get to see it again tomorrow on the big screen.
Cool.
So the first time I saw the movie, it was my Avengers experience. The theater was packed front to back and everyone was just cheering. But the fact the guy who got killed in the bed was supposed to be Superman in Superman Returns.
Ben Ralph.
But fun fact, he says.
Oh, fun.
I did not know that. Nick Siebel says Freddy versus Jason was awesome. There's 4 exclamation marks after that. He says,
yeah.
I love this movie. I was in my freshman year in college, literally saw this in theaters 3 times. Such a blast. Fuck New Line and director Ronnie Yu for not casting Kane Hodder as
Yeah.
Jason.
Yeah.
Does the movie hold up to today's standards? Who cares? It was a great early 2000s horror film. 4 exclamation marks.
I will say this would have been a fun one to watch in the theater.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this is-
It was fun.
I
It
bet
was
it
very
was,
fun,
yeah.
which makes it. This is one we're going to have to contend with when it came out and how we felt versus now. And I think there's a big difference, or at least there is for me, and I'll get to it. But
Well, David Brown says, place your bets. Indeed, Freddy vs. Jason was an okay film, but I hardly ever watch it. Was never a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan. The first was all right, but I stopped watching after part 3. Friday the 13th series should have stopped at the final chapter.
I mean, yeah, in a perfect world, yes.
I don't
That's my
disagree with what
favorite
you're saying.
one. So, yes, I would have loved for it to stop there.
Travis Legler says, fuck yes. Only 2 exclamation marks. I love this movie. Okay, the soundtrack is nothing amazing. Sorry,
True.
Sean.
It's,
But I
it's
love
an amazing time capsule.
amazing time capsule.
He says, but I love how the writers tried to keep as much of the history of both characters and not retcon a lot of it. Robert Englund was amazing. I'm bummed that we didn't get to see the Pinhead ending that was thought about. I will say this, forever fuck off, New Line, for not having Kane Hodder back as Jason.
Yep.
Ken's a nice guy, but we wanted Kane. You burned a lot of good horror goodwill with that choice, fuckers.
Yep.
Yep.
I'd say so.
Ouch.
Yeah. Hey,
Wicked burn. G Money says, oddly enough, I just re-listened to your Nightmare 2010 episode and I needed a Freddy cleanser. The theater experience will stick with me as this is the only Freddy movie I was able to see in theaters. I purposely skipped the aforementioned abomination. Was a fan buildup and Fangoria articles made the anticipation so high. I love the splatter on display. It delivered the actual Freddy versus Jason battle we've always wanted. Last week, we watched a movie called Primate, and David Brown writes in and says Elizabeth Shue battles a killer monkey in a movie called Link, which was directed by Richard Franklin, who did Psycho 2 and Road Games. Same basic premise with less annoying characters. The role of Link was given to an orangutan. His fur was dyed darker, and he wore prosthetic ears to make him resemble a chimpanzee. Better than a guy in a suit, in my opinion.
I've seen clips from that
Interesting.
movie. It's been on my list for a long time. Yeah, I think they literally spray painted that monkey. I don't think they dyed it. I think it was much more heinous than that. But it looks, it's from like the 70s. It looks,
That's 86.
okay,
Oh, is
it
it really?
looks really
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah, that's been on my list for a while. I'll watch every monkey movie out there.
There's another movie. If you like Link, go back to like 1970 something. A movie called Trog. I forgot what's her name that's in it. She was in What Happened to Baby Jane. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane was.
Yeah.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Not Betty Davis, but
Joan Crawford.
Joan Crawford.
Joan
Thank
Crawford.
you.
Yeah.
And fighting the missing link.
Yeah.
It's
What?
called Trog.
Wow.
In 3D.
She's the scientist. Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow. This looks fascinating. We need to see
Yeah,
this.
it's
Yeah.
something.
This sounds
now available from Kino Lorber home
Yep.
video.
Yes, it is.
Oh wow. Okay. Something to look into.
Something looking new. Don't bring it to this show.
Okay,
It won't-
okay.
That I will say, it is
Okay.
not.
It's boring.
And not
I mean, I
entertaining
do
enough.
have
Yeah.
a 3D setup. I mean, we can
It's-
see
It's
Trog
not
the
the
way it was.
kookiness that we
No,
want. Got
no.
it. Okay.
It's
Okay.
kooky, but it's not that kooky.
Got it. Okay. I trust you.
2 weeks ago, then we saw The Happening, and Mary Willis writes in and says, I struggle with why people enjoy movies with Mark Wahlberg in them to begin with,
Yes.
other than Boogie Nights.
Yes.
I also never got why M. Night Shyamalan was so popular. Not one I would be desperate to watch, and so relieved to hear it's not an essential viewing film.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, you're fine. You're not going to gain anything from watching it. It's better heard about secondhand than watching, honestly.
But Mary, I do appreciate that you're playing along. Now we're going to go around the table and tell you whether we would recommend that you watch Freddy vs. Jason, starting with
Sean. Okay. So Freddy versus Jason. The fervor reached a fever pitch with this movie. This was big. This is what horror fans were waiting for a long time. And so seeing it in 2003, like I was probably rabid for it because I love Jason. I had watched I've been watching Freddy, so I was still a fan of both of them. A lot of people were. So this was sort of like a pinnacle for a lot of people. One of our writers said, "Is it the end of kind of that era of it?" It might have been. But the theater experience was something else back then because when theaters were packed for movies and shit.
Back when people went to movies.
Back when people went to movies, and so like it was a crazy crowd. I remember going to see it with my brothers because we were all big fans of it.
Sure.
Like it was an experience to go see this movie back when it came out, and I had really fond memories of watching it. I think I've only seen this maybe like 3 times since then. This being the third one tonight. I still understand it. It is an oddity. It is Freddy versus Jason. It's still kind of wonderful that they got to it and that it exists. It is a tad underwhelming watching it tonight. Like I'm good for watching this movie for a long time after this. It's kind of, once you get down to it, I mean, like one of our listeners said, like, what do you expect? And it's like, well, he's got a point. Because what are you going to do when you get 2 guys together? They're just going to stab each other a lot. It's going to be a lot of blood. And there's going to be a fight, and that's what we got. And it's still recommended tonight. Yeah, it's Freddy versus Jason. I'll still recommend it. It's not. It might be a letdown for some people. It's not as exciting as it once was. Again, we are 23 years on from this movie, so again, what do you expect? But I'll still recommend it because it's Freddy versus Jason. They did it. They got them together. They put them in theaters, and they had the fight. And for that, kudos to them. I'll still recommend it. It's not the most exciting thing you're going to watch in horror nowadays, but hey, it's there's some fun to be had here. So I'll recommend Freddy vs. Jason. Michaela, what'd you think?
I just would like the Freak Show family to know that I just saw as we are recording this during the Oscars that Tom Noonan was left out of the In Memoriam montage. And he's an icon to us. We love Tom Noonan. So truly a huge loss. Manhunter is one of the coolest movies ever made.
Yeah.
But okay, Freddy versus Jason.
Nope.
I love that they just named it what it is.
Yep.
I love that it doesn't have because they knew everyone was just going to call it Freddy versus Jason, so it's just Freddy versus Jason. Love it. I'll always watch a versus movie, even if I know I'm making a mistake in watching one. I don't think either of the AVP movies were good, if I recall. I think the average for these movies is not good. The best one is probably that one Kong versus Godzilla one I liked. Deadpool and Wolverine didn't do a ton for me either. And what I did like about that movie had nothing to do with them fighting. So
Same.
For reasons we've stated.
Right. And it's, it had to happen. And I want them to keep making these movies, but I never enjoy watching this movie. When I think of this movie, I think of Kelly Rowland getting like having the dream of getting her nose cut off and like pulled out with Freddy's fingers, and how bad the CGI looked, because that's always looked bad. I'm sorry. I know some of this is time, but this movie also didn't look great at the time either when it came out.
That's true.
And I think about her unfortunate F slur, and I think about all the like just mean nastiness kind of attached to this movie. I think it's not enough of anything. It's not funny enough. It's not over the top enough. It's just kind of middle of the road on a lot of things. It is like properly gory, I guess, but I want more inventive kills and more creative things happening. I want less family drama, less gross allusions to him being a pedophile, and less sexual assault and all that stuff. I just want it to be fun. I want it to be more cartoony. Add in the fucking Looney Tunes sound effects. I don't care. Just go all the way with that. You know, and I think, like, I don't know, if you gave like Edgar Wright directing a movie like this, right? Like, it'd probably be more the tone I would want.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, I don't like this movie. I've never liked this movie. I just find it to be kind of rancid and boring for a lot of it. I agree the verses takes way too long to get there. And I feel like it, that's fine. But I've never really been that into it. So I'm going to pass on it. I'm going to pass. But if you like it, that's fine. It's just, I get why it's so exciting for a lot of people because you're finally seeing these together. I wish I could have seen it in the theaters because I think I would have loved the theater experience.
Yeah.
But everything around the movie is more interesting than the actual movie itself. So pass. Holly.
Yeah. I agree with what you're saying. When I remember when this came out, and like I said earlier, even I was like, oh, this is a big deal. And I say even I, because at the time I was very churchy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I was very churchy.
Oh, the devils are fighting.
Yeah, the devils are fighting. So I'll admit I understand the grandeur of it. I understand that it was a big deal. And I remember the marketing being huge. And I appreciate that. But I agree with what you're saying, Michaela. They could have leaned into it so much more. It could have been much sillier. It could have been more fun. You know, we keep saying, like, how can you make two indestructible people or indestructible beings, like, entertaining if they're trying to kill each other? Fucking Roadrunner and Coyote did it every week.
Yeah, exactly.
That was always funny and always good, and they always had something fun. And we never got tired of it. So it can be done. And I want that. I want it to be more fun. Yeah. It didn't really do it for me. We did laugh at it. You know, we laughed at it and we had some fun with it. But I think the fact that I wanted to go into it thinking like, oh, I don't need to know any of the other movies previous to this, and I would have appreciated that, but it felt like I still needed to watch something because it was so like ridiculous with its storytelling and making up a story that wasn't there. So yeah, I'm gonna say it wasn't enough for me. Not all of it was not entertaining, but yeah, just not for me. It wasn't good. Yeah, I'm gonna pass. Colin, what do you think?
Well, I mean, we don't have the same theatrical experience anymore, so now we have the Saturday Night Freak Show. But none of us were cheering and hooting and hollering because I guess we've seen it, before, and you're like, okay, reappraising this 23-year-old movie. It's weird to me that that pop culture at some point when it runs out of ideas goes, let's why don't we put the two guys from the most dominant series together and see what happens. And what happens would be they're gonna fight. I was like, wait, Batman versus Superman, we're like, wouldn't they be on the same team? No, they gotta fight. Godzilla versus Kong and Alien versus Predator and all this stuff. So this is like a movie that it seems ludicrous that you'd want to do it in the first place. Seeing where these characters came from. I mean, I really love A Nightmare on Elm Street, and I like the Friday the 13th series, and it is I prefer the Friday the 13th series, but these are kind of like, I don't know, it's the pop culture approximation of the characters. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
Not the characters themselves. And it's like, okay, we're going to bring them in, and then what do you want? We're going to put them in a ring, and eventually they're going to fight. Blood's going to fly all over the place. It's like, okay, you get that, but I think you could have done it so much better. Even if you stuck with the same concept, and this is the concept that obviously won the 10-year development war. I think one of them ended in a mall. If I remember, Jason and Freddy were fighting in the middle of a mall. And I think actually Freddy uses a standee of a cybernetic Jason to beat him with. And that gave them the idea for Jason X.
Again, they could have, there's so many ways they could have gone.
They could have had fun with it.
So I guess it's a way to acknowledge that okay, these franchises are done. There is nothing new to do with either of these series. We've exhausted them. And the only thing that we can do is combine them at this point. And maybe that would launch its own series that never materialized. I think the writing is horrible in this movie. It broke my brain. I disliked all the characters. I'm not going to, slam the director or the actors. They're just doing what they're told to do. Ronnie Yu's just collecting a paycheck. It really does feel like he's not really into it. He's a journeyman who's been hired to do this thing, and he said he's going to do it for the right price and had an idea, but
Probably never watched one of these movies.
that's what it feels like. It feels like this is the first one that, it's like, we're going to do a Nightmare on Elm Street, and he knows who Freddy Krueger is, and, and they give him a script, and he's like, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I think for me as a fan, I was disappointed when I first saw it. There's bits here and there. I guess you go like, oh, it's Robert Englund again, but I don't like his makeup.
No,
it changes
they
and they do.
They both looked terrible.
Yeah, they're not.
I
They're not
like this
series
look of
best
Jason.
versions of
Yeah.
either one of the characters.
Yeah.
And again, that's me. Like, I don't really know the comparison from the other movies. I just looked at them. I was like, they both look terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, ultimately I was left unsatisfied, and I guess you kind of do wake up a little bit when they fight, and then. But as you said, there's
It's only because the rock music is pounding in your brain.
yeah, and they're just slashing and slashing and slashing. I did hope that Jason won, and he did, so I guess that made me happy. But ultimately, I think you watch. There's like a Nightmare on Elm Street. What I said, 1, 3, and 7, and that's it. In the Friday the 13th movies, I'll go 4 plus. I'd add 6. And then that's it. And when I say that, I mean, you don't have to watch Freddy versus Jason. So yeah, but the theatrical experience, I remember getting carried away with it. It was pretty cool. So that is a split vote. You recommended it, Sean.
I recommended it.
Okay.
Was that a,
You-
wait,
you
was
were
that a
the
yes?
only
You were the only
I was
one.
You were the
That's
only
not
one.
split vote. That's
Yeah.
me.
Oh, split vote. Okay. Well, how do we say that? It's
3
not
to 1.
split. That's
Yeah.
3 to 1.
3 to 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sean fucked up.
Your discretion if you want to watch it or not.
Yeah.
I still say that. I'm just like, yeah.
I know, because like you, I have seen this movie. I've encountered it several times. Like at some point, you do the I'm going to watch all the Friday the 13th movies again. That was the last time I saw it. Probably when the Blu-ray set came out, because that give you a reason to I got to justify my purchase.
Right.
I got to watch them all.
Right.
Oh shit, I got to watch this fucking thing again.
Yeah. I bought the Halloween set. I had to watch Resurrection again. It happens.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
That's how they get you.
All right, so next week we're going to watch a movie that's chosen by.
Sean, what are we watching next week?
Recently a movie came out called The Bride. And
Yes.
it reminded me of a movie that I have always wanted to watch.
Oh, really?
So we're going to watch Bride of Reanimator.
Oh,
all
right.
That's been on my list for a while.
I know. I almost brought that movie last month. Okay.
Bring it next week.
All right, so there you go. Join us next week for Bride of Reanimator. And until then, ladies and germs, the basement is going dark.